This is the last panel discussion under the theme towards a secure and resilient Manipur, collaboration, capacity, and community. I will also go back to the 9/11. When the 9/11 incident happened, our TV channels were competing with each other to screen live what is happening outside, passing on information to the terrorists inside, till the government clamped down. So our community understanding, appreciation of the security requirement in 2008 was so poor that it led to more casualty than it should have. That was the security environment that was. And with the present changes that has occurred in the last about a decade or so, the situation is worse. Security, not only security, every aspect of life has now been totally linked. We are talking about the public-private partnership, the convergence of ideas and all. So I will also follow what the academic system which was adopted by Dr. Chinglen during his year. I will give about 8 minutes to each of the speakers to give their views on towards a secure and resilient Manipur collaboration capacity and community. That will be followed by a Q&A session, and then I will try to sum up what was being discussed. So I will first call upon Shri Kundrakpam Singh, COO, DDUGKY, to make his observation on the theme.
Thank you, sir. Actually, the board panel discussion topic is very interesting towards a secure and resilient Manipur. And the most important is the 3 C's: collaboration, capacity, and community. So basically, when we want to have such kind of environment in our state, the first thing, collaboration, is very important. And before that, I think this is the right time that Homeland groups have organized regarding the integrated security system. So I would like to emphasize on the role of collaboration. So till now, various stakeholders in this domain security were working in silo. Although people were doing, but there was no collaboration. Even we can take the example of governance, we can take the example of civil societies, we can take examples of private organizations. Everyone is working, but they are working in silo. So collaboration is very important in this context. So I'd like to focus on that. Then we need to build capacity. So since I have been holding this position for the last 10 years, we are providing manpower training in various domains. Our boys and girls are excelling in domains like hospitality sector, domains like aviation, domains like retail, healthcare. And recently we have conducted a skill gap assessment for the entire state. And I'm happy to say that security has come out as one of the top priority by our boys and girls. So, and recently we have plotted an expression of interest for skilling program under Din Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushal Yojana. And again, fortunately, Homeland has applied for the unarmed guards. So hopefully we will be providing training to them also. And so far, whatever we have been discussing since morning, if we cannot provide a very good trained person, everything is useless. People must be aware that nowadays, either due to requirement or as a fashion, everywhere CCTVs are installed. But when something happens, some incident, accident happen, when we want to go and check, sometimes the recording is not there, sometimes the records are not clear, and we cannot even find out the culprits. So here comes the monitoring part. So we need to train them properly, and as per the guidelines of the skilling program, we do provide our chairman Shri here as per the job roles that is provided by the Security Sectors Skill Development Council under the NSDC, and Sir has rightly highlighted in the morning that we need to have master trainers so that all these manpower are trained according to the protocols, according to the SOPs. There are various job roles like unarmed, armed, even CCTV supervisors are there. So these job roles would be increased as per the requirement of the areas in hotel industries, in the showrooms, or even in the house guard also. So we can have a thorough discussion with this CAPC in the Delhi again, and we'll also give some suggestion about the requirement in Manipur also. So just installing a CCTV or just giving those facilities in the premises doesn't protect or prevent. Monitoring is more important. So again, I would like to highlight that prevention is better than cure. So we need to prevent. So there are so many things like we can do by giving the proper training to the young boys and girls. In the morning session also, there was one speaker has said, "Agar kuch nahi hota to security join kar lo." Now that scenario has changed. Can the 15 security guard will have scenario changed already? I would like to address the boys and girls. How many of you know the name Sarah? Sarah Kangumi Aura. Who is Sarah? Salman Khan ki security guard Niko. How much he is getting per month? Any idea? Any guess?
1 crore.
No sir, not 1 crore. 15 lakhs he is getting. Now coming to the point, what I want to focus is that
1 crore because he gets 20 lakhs plus there are other.
Yes. So my point is that security now could become a career. Just cannot fund the security guard. If you have proper training, if you have proper physique, you can become a security person. Sometimes when we organize events, there are bouncers. Put manga wanguna bouncer hoya dekho. Put 5 to 10 feet wangta. So when we talk about security, I'll focus on the manpower because when you undergo this training, number one, you will be disciplined. Number one, you have to have the integrity, you have to have the accountability. Why there is background check? All these things are checked in the organization. Okay, so morning is so high, background check, police case like that. So you need to have a very clean background, then only you can give protection. So when we provide such kind of training, then only we have a very good manpower. Technology is an enabler, and we should know how to use the technology. And every training that we provide under our scheme, we thoroughly follow the SOPs, we thoroughly follow the guidelines, and each and every trainee has to undergo at least 3 months training. Morning, people were talking about just some few hours, 15 hours or 1 week. Now we will provide 3 months training, which will include the domain as well as non-domain area, which will be like spoken skills, entrepreneurship skills, everything, and even IT also. So this will, I believe this will make our young boys and girls to make a very prospective career in the security field. And we made a survey in the Manipur where we asked the organizations what are their requirements also. So we try to understand those gaps, and the skill gap assessment, we try to bridge the demand and the both demand and supply part. So in the next coming years, we'll be providing training to more than thousands in this field also, apart from other domain areas. And to conclude, I would like to say that this is a very bright career, so that you become self-disciplined and you can also help others. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I request Dr. Veto, who is the Joint Secretary, the Department of Home, and looking after BSAI.
Thank you, sir. Sir, actually, as per the topic given to us, I'll just stick to that one only, sir. A strong safety culture is the foundation for a resilient economy. And the 3 C's that has been mentioned in the topic, there is collaboration, capacity and community, sir. This basically aim towards having a collective and shared responsibility between all the stakeholders. So basically, there is seed in the concept regarding security of the nation as well as the general public, sir. So the seed is from the conventional thought that, sir, security concern is the subject of the public authorities. Rather than that, now the importance of the role that is going to be played by private sectors, community leaders, civil society organization, or youth front, and everyone that is going to be discussed here. So in that aspect, sir, voluntarism, in the sub-theme itself, voluntarism has been mentioned as one of the key areas where we need to work on. Why? Because whenever some emergency situation or adversity comes up, the first and foremost, the first one on the front line will come and respond is the local people, not the system as such. Before the system rush there, the local people, the people living in that area itself will be the one who will respond at the first moment. So we need to involve communities as well as private players to reach out to all the youths and spread out the sense of this security aspects in terms of basic life support, fire safety, and in terms of civil defense and everything, sir. So the idea of developing voluntarism among the youth is one of the key areas where we have to give special focus. Another one is private partnership. Here, the key areas where private players can play is in developing capacities, trainers, training programs, even inviting big business houses in this private security areas, industry particularly. And another aspect is in the previous the panel discussion number 3, we're talking about technology, sir. There, private players can play a big role, sir. Those innovation, resource, and agility on the part of private players may be combined with the authority and reach of the public authority to go towards the common goal of resilience nation, resilient states. Another area is third. Integration of skill development and security manpower training, sir. Here, our previous speaker has also emphasized on the quality of training that is going to be imparted. Here also the role of private players, involvement of community leaders, community participation is of paramount importance. So, sir, before we delve into further, as a public servant, as a part of the government, sir, unless there is specific questions, I cannot go much deeper into that one. If sir asks, then only I will answer. And moreover, Sir is a very seasoned, and this one has been our mentor for years. Now, whatever post I am holding, Sir was holding, and Sir is always guiding. So, there are certain questions which I may not be able to answer at this particular platform. Then I will divert towards Sir.
Thank you, Dr. Veto. Now I come to Professor Chinglen Maisnam to make his observation.
Thank you. I will be very, very brief. I will take only 3-4 minutes because audience are eager for cocktail dinner and live music. So anyway, I will slightly touch upon the present scenario of private security in India. As you know, that India started its new economic policy in 1991. After the liberalization of Indian economy, we are pursuing the path of high growth trajectory. Now, India is poised to the third largest economy in the world. So, we cannot accept this big trip without the contribution from private security. If you look at the police population ratio, you will be surprised to know that Manipur has 941 police per 1 lakh population, whereas Bihar has only 83 police personnel per lakh population. It is according to a answer placed on the floor of the parliament. Though we have one of the highest police population ratio in the country, we still need the participation of private security personnel in Manipur. And I think some of the personnel from Manipur, I mean the security personnel, private security personnel from Manipur are also working in different states of India and abroad. So my point here is, again, another data. Let me share you one very surprising data from Manipur. Dr. Veto has pointed out that there are only 24 or 25 licensed agencies in the state. But according to portal, which was also flashed in the parliament, Manipur has 39 active license holders. I don't know whether they are operating as per the regulation or not, I don't know. But many of them are in the unorganized sector, I think. So my point here is, we need to have a kind of model which has been practiced by many countries in the world, including United States of America, that there is urgent need for public-private partnership in this area. And some of the states in the country, they are also organizing joint training. Because you know, when we talk of PPP, triple P, this middle P will not be active if the first P, that is public, if it is not active, then the middle P will be reluctant. So there is an urgent need for active state intervention in this area. Because as I have already told, earlier that the present day globalization is not only in goods and services, but also threats and the mindset. Threats and the mindset, security threats and the mindsets are also being globalized. Manipur is also affected. The present violent scenario is also an example. We are the victims of geopolitics, geoeconomics, and so on. So, yes, police and order is a state subject, but we have a regulation. Manipur has also, I think, notification. I think Manipur is also implementing this in 2021. So I think according to CAPC, private security sector, according to CAPC, please cannot omit, private security sector is in crisis due to outdated regulation and inconsistent enforcement, because enforcement is not uniform. So CAPC leads the call for urgent PSARA reform, guard welfare, and a central regulatory authority to safeguard India's frontline workforce. So this is not just an operational problem, there is also a policy problem. So, and unless the government acts now, the cracks in India's first line of defense will widen into a national threat. So you'll be also surprised to know that 70% of agencies, security agencies, private security agencies in the country, they are still operate without valid personal licenses. So many lacks basic protective gear, restrooms, or insurance, and so on. So, as I already told you, unregulated agencies routinely violate labor laws, safety norms, and the training mandates. I think last year, Dr. Veto also has also pointed out this problem in the case of Manipur. So, my point here is, this is not just a moral responsibility, moral failure, it is a national security vulnerability. So we need to secure the guard, to secure the country, secure the state, secure the nation. So if we truly value our future, we must start by respecting those who guard it. So here lies the need for active state intervention in this sector. Thank you.
I'll take one line, sir. I was talking about gaps in the implementation of that particular act. But it is my sole responsibility to clarify on certain things. Even though CAPC has taken up a lot of initiative for regulation of personal licensing in the country, but there is not a single state or union territory in the entire country who has properly implemented Pasara Act 2005. So, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India is reviewing it very frequently, and for us, luckily we have very much less number of registered licenses. But in other states, it is in thousands. UP, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and even in the south, big states they don't have even records, proper records of the total number of security agencies. And conventionally, these licenses were issued offline. But recently only it has been made online. So we are on the process of digital transformation totally. So we are taking up initiative in this regard as instructed by MIJ, because this is of public security concern. Why? Because people are trusting on these agencies and relying on them for safety and security of the public who are using the facility, especially hospitals, marketplaces, shopping complexes, and all those public utility facilities. That's why I have to make a clarification. Why? Because in my initial remark also I have mentioned that we as a state have not been able to properly monitor it like other states in the country. But state government is not sitting idle. We are reviewing it and we will surely come up to the expectation. Thank you, sir.
And the teacher says that he will take very less time, then one have to take with a pinch of salt because teachers want to talk. So Chinglen says that he will take only 3 minutes, but he has taken more than 8 minutes. By the way, I'll open the floor, so if any of the audience have got a question to any of the panelists, they can raise it. Dr. Veto particularly said that he can only clarify that, so if you make a pointed question, then he will be able to clarify.
Hello. My question would be addressed to the moderator or the chair. By the term resilient, the resilient Manipur, it takes a very comprehensive and very wide meaning and perspectives. So, leaving apart the internal issues, how do you think, like, Manipur is now facing so many threats of foreign origins, leading to the conflict, depression situations. So how will the government and the other agencies would play its role to bring back to the norm? Dr. Veto may also answer from the government side.
So Veto will find it very uncomfortable to answer. So if there is, I will answer it when I sum up.
The mic, please. Yes.
Dr. Veto will find it very uncomfortable to answer because this is an issue which involves many policy matters. So it will be unfair to ask a bureaucrat on an issue in which the government is not able to settle anything, because we have been in a quagmire for the last so many months, for 2.5 years. About Anil's question, I will try to answer when I sum up. So if anybody has got any questions to any of the panelists, then please feel free before I make my summation.
Sir, Masagi, AI matang. I just want to add a little bit, sir. AI is a very useful tool in the present world. But we have to be very careful. Unless we know that particular AI application properly, it is very dangerous to be introduced to our young minds, especially our children or kids. They don't know whether the information that is being extracted by AI is from a reliable source or not. Another thing is that when we are first born, we don't know ABC. Unless we learn ABC, how we will be able to frame sentence, how we will be able to write a letter or this one article. So there was two Dyson views between Thomas Wierenberg and Niranjan. So uska balance is something like this. First we have to have a clear knowledge about the basics of that particular application that we are going to use. Another thing is that we are going to apply that particular AI app for a particular task. If I don't know the exact nature of the work, then I should not apply AI. For example, if I am dealing with a security issue, where if suppose I am to write a report, then I should frame certain hypothetical prompt, not feeding the actual data. So Tamo was talking about data security. Now nobody can assure about data security. So even if I use that AI for facilitating my job, because at one point of time I was working under 4 administrative secretaries. So in that case, holding 4 or 5 portfolio under the same secretary is very easy. But they're working under 4, 5 bosses. There you find it very difficult to manage time. In those situations, AI really helps us. But how we use it is in a very intelligent way, in a smart way, that we always fit hypothetical situation and hypothetical data. That will be screened by the person. Only thing is typing part, finding word, all those things will be held by AI. And making certain strategy, roadmap, in that way it will help. But feeding the actual data, it may lead to data security issues. So there should be a balance. Unless we have the basics, we should not introduce all those high-end applications to our kids. That is my submission. Even not to the kids. Now many of officers, many of the bureaucrat officers, they are relying on AI. But क्या होता है कि many times sensitive information gets leaked out. And even Tamo was talking about security of the institution where I'm working. That is the real challenge. So even if AI is a good tool, we should use it in a proper way. That is what I want to add.
So with due permission from the moderator, sir, AI can add for the general information. So like there are many apps asking you to sing a cover songs. Like they will be singing, good songs. They will ask you some few words. But my advice to the public and the audience is that, never use a sentence which contains all the alphabets starting from A to Z. This is a very risky thing. So once you have uploaded all those words or sentences containing all the alphabets, there is a program called the vocal synthesizers. So they may, take your, pattern of speaking using the vocabularies, and they may generate your voice very easily. So please be very careful while uploading your voice or a sentence having all those alphabets. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Nin, for the clarification and advice. Now I'll come to the last part, the summation of this proceedings. Everybody has focused on the cyber security aspect and AI. I had also made a presentation in the international conference on AI, the risks of AI, which was held in the political science department in Manipur University, where I cautioned that we don't know the algorithm used in the development of AI. So it's an opaque thing. So we have to be extremely cautious of using it. I hardly use it. Because the moment I started using AI, I'll stop reading. Because it is the easier way. And one of my poison is to read every day 1 or 2 hours. Turning the pages relaxes me. And I have been doing it for the last more than 50 years. So I don't want to change my habit. So for me, security, or a secure or a resilient society means not only the security because of man-made issues, but all the natural calamities that is happening. And that has happened and likely to happen in Manipur. Manipur is in a seismic zone 5 area. So any earthquake of 7+ which can cause tremendous damage, cannot. Government has been doing. They have engaged us also because I am part of the Red Cross fraternity. I don't know whether Dr. Bankim has left. During COVID also, it is not the state government who have done the awareness program. It is we from the Red Cross. We have conducted more than 430 awareness programs. When people are afraid to come out on the streets, when people are closing the mohallas, no one is allowed to enter. So we have been doing it. We have been processing people who have come from other states, Chennai, almost all the states, special training was done, and we processed this. And because of the precaution we have taken, not a single of our volunteers, when we have used more than 150 volunteers, not a single one have suffered from COVID-19. The entire 3 waves. So if you take precaution, then, and if you try to understand, and I have been in the newspaper, more than 68 articles on COVID-19, from the virus up to the latest findings, just to educate the people what is COVID-19 and how to prevent. So I am more concerned about this natural calamities, because any earthquake, because what happened in Mandalay area can happen here also. We have 8.6 intensity in the Richter scale in 1894, it's long. In Assam, 1950, which literally changed the course of Brahmaputra river. From the sucker of Assam Valley, it became the ban of the Assam Valley. It is now also changing course because it has become so destabilized. So these are one of the aspects where the cooperation between the private and, as Dr. Veto has mentioned, in any instances, the first responders are the local people. So if the local peoples are not trained to respond, then the casualty will be very high. Sachidananda has mentioned about safety first, and in Red Cross, we have also adopted the policy of safety first. Because if you don't take into account your personal safety, you will add to the casualty list. So we follow 7 fundamental principles of neutrality, integrity and all. But in responding, it is the safety first. If there is a house burning, you have to first see whether you are safe. You can't just enter inside, inhale smoke and then collapse, or you get yourself burned. So the safety first principle is for all volunteers. Okay, you cannot become a casualty trying to help somebody. Another thing in the private security, there are very serious concern about the private security, about the training and all. In the NSDC program, it is 300 hours program, which takes about, as was mentioned by Bobby, that it takes about 3 months. And it includes various skills like soft skills and other skills also. And these, then after you successfully complete, then you enter an exam and then you are given a national skill competency. And that certificate is accepted everywhere. So anybody who has passed out on our private security, if you have the certificate, you can work anywhere in the country, and particularly in big firms like Reliance Petrochemicals or the Adani Port, and they are searching people for managing the security. Then for the PSRA, you have 160 and 200 hours, which take about slightly more, about a month or slightly more than a month. And that suffices for the private security work. As Dr. Veto has mentioned, that we already have a registered training institution which can provide a training. And for the in-service, people who are already on the job, which are not trained, under the skill development, they can be provided in-service training on the spot by going to the places where they are working or by. So these are areas, because we need skilled people to train. The advantage of security personnel in the event of a natural calamity is that if they are trained, they can respond better. Because first aid, for every Red Cross volunteer, we have to do the first aid program. And if you want to join this army and all, and even the cabin crew, it helps. Because if you have a certification in the first aid, then you have a distinct advantage in joining. So Red Cross is providing all the trainings, and even with many of the private security agencies, we have a tie-up. We send our trainers to conduct, and even to the school and colleges, and we have about units, different units, and some colleges are having 4 or 5 units. And so we have to prepare ourselves for any eventualities. And to meet any eventuality is that you equip yourself well on how to respond. Regarding Anil's specific questions about the happenings in Manipur, I don't see normalcy returning in a very short time. We have seen what happened in the Naga class of 1992-97. There, it took 5 years. But the hard burn that has happened still continues now. The lack of trust still continues. The Mayengbam class is only 2.5 years old, so I would say that it is still young. There is very little effort from the government side, as well as from the third party side, to bring in a settlement. We have not seen any apparent initiative that has been taken up, even though the Union Home Ministry has been trying to bring the leaders of the two communities to talk in Delhi. But unfortunately, there is hardly any progress. And without talk, it is impossible to bring in a settlement. During the Naga class, the Meiteis have played an important role in trying to bridge the gap between the two communities. But here, in the present one, there is no one. We have visitors, there are peace builders from outside the state who have come, from Andhra, from Kerala, from Delhi, from Kolkata, they have come. Unfortunately, their knowledge or the ability to understand the issues, because it's a very complex issue. Even people who have been born, raised in Manipur are finding it difficult to point a figure to what causes this. So for the people who are coming from outside, it becomes extremely difficult. And another thing is that Manipur is on the border. It's not in the mainstream national consciousness. If the thing that is happening in Manipur has happened in Gujarat, the national capital region, or in UP or Bihar, the matter would have been settled long back. We are on the sideline of the national consciousness. Not only Manipur, it's in the northeast, Jammu and Kashmir is one of them. The Ladakh that is happening. And by the way, the Ladakh, which was earlier a fairly peaceful part of Jammu and Kashmir, is now the highest police population ratio. Second comes Manipur. There are more than 1,000 policemen per lakh population. We have got slightly more than 900. But if we look into the total security deployed, Manipur has got the highest ratio. If you take into the army, the central police organization, the Assam Rifles, then Manipur has got the highest. When I calculated last time, it is about 54. For every 54 individuals, there is a security personnel in Manipur. That is an extremely high level of deployment, and despite that, you are not able to contain the problem here. Things are slowly going to normalcy because human beings have a limit. So the cycle, in any violence, there will be a graph will go up, then you will become tired and you will again come down, and after some time then again you will, and that is happening, and that is part of life. And that has happened in the past, that is happening now, and that will happen in the future also. But we have to prepare ourselves so that casualties do not occur again. Because a life lost for unreasonable purposes has no meaning. If you die for your country, defending your country, it is understandable. But to die in a communal class or in violence is a loss to the nation. I do hope that the government of India, because now Manipur is under president rule, government of India take up certain initiatives and to address. Efforts have been made because in government scheme of things, you do one thing, you don't succeed, and you try another. But the various options are there. It is not necessary that the first option you take up succeed. It takes time. And unfortunately, even in the government circle in Manipur, not to speak about those in Delhi, the senior officers are still not understanding the situation. They are not reading it well. And say, when you intervene without understanding the problem, you will create more misunderstanding. And that is exactly that is happening in and around the border areas, the hill areas. Manipur is known as a geopolitical reasons also. And India tried to stop it by restricting the free movement regime, by taking the decision to build up a border, 1,643 kilometers of border. And it is going to take a century to do it because for 10 years we have not been able to complete a 10-kilometer stretch of border fencing. So if you want to do it for 1,643, it will take more than a century to do it. But still, a decision has been taken, and the situation, because what happens in Myanmar is going to be very relevant, because say Myanmar have taken a decision that they will conduct an election. The moment the election is conducted and peace settles in, normalcy settles in Myanmar, automatically the problem in Manipur will also subside tremendously. And to end, I would like to thank the organizer of the Homeland Security Group for organizing this. And I, on behalf of the panelists, thank all the audience for a very patient listening. Thank you very much.